Popimpresska journal, and we're in the middle of Park Avenue and 52nd Street in Manhattan, New York City with Luis. He's an amazing artist from Spain. Luis, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Thank you. Thank you. And actually, Miguel de la Roy brought you here, and he's one of also creative artists who has a foundation for artists from Spain. So, could you tell me, like, when did you decide that you will exhibit in New York City, and why this particular location?
A year ago, I know they accepted submissions for shows in Park Avenue, and I always seen every spring there's a show here. So I decided to prepare a project, and I thought maybe I get it, and then the jury decided to give it to me. And it was a year ago, and we just installed it 2 weeks ago.
So my main question was, those sculptures, there are 5 of them, right?
Yes.
What is each of them weight?
Each sculpture weighs around 7,000 pounds.
7,000 pounds. So to get this sculpture, how do you get it to New York?
Like, this comes from Spain, near Barcelona, from a quarry, and it comes with a boat.
With a boat?
Yes.
And how long it took to get it by boat?
1 month.
Oh my goodness, it's incredible. And when you were growing up, did you ever realize that you will be an artist? I know you have a family of
Well,
artists.
I kind of know, because everybody in my family were artists, so and I love it to be with my father and my grandfather. And I kind of know always I wanted to be an artist, yeah, but I never know I would end up in New York doing Park Avenue showing.
Incredible. Now, when you created this piece, what was the inspiration behind it? Because it looks like all different pieces and they'll have blue and orange, right?
Yeah.
And it's on stone.
Yeah. Since I've been living here the same time that I lived in Spain, it's kind of my life have two sides. I'm the same person with a front and a back, or a back and a front. And that explains a little bit the nature of the work, that which is something that happens in life also, that not all the things have always more than one aspect to it, and things can be explained in many different ways depending on who see them. And this is something that in one side, to me, is very much my years in New York. The other side is very much my years before New York. So it's a little bit that thing.
2 sides of your life.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Now, do you live in New York now permanently, or?
I live in New York and I spend time in Spain.
So Luis, this is your second piece. Actually, I love it because it reminds me of a pyramid.
Oh, yeah?
What was behind this piece when you said, I want to do that particular shape?
I'm not sure, but I think it's more about thinking about paying tribute to some American abstract painters like Ellsworth Kelly or Agnes Martin, and the pure geometric shapes.
Yes, yes.
So to me, it's more about that than
geometric figures.
Yeah, than representation. Yeah.
Oh, so when you were growing up with your family, heavily involved in art, how did they inspire you to be a next generation? Because now a lot of times painters, the family, like the children, they don't want to repeat the career of their ancestors. Like what?
Well, I realized that my father and my grandfather were very happy doing this. So I thought it would be a good idea to do the same, because it's a good thing when you realize that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life something you like a lot to do. So I guess that was the inspiration behind it. Just imitating somebody that was having a good time doing something.
And now you have a family too.
Yes.
You have a son?
And a daughter.
And a daughter. Now, where do you see them taking off in their careers? What do they want to do?
I have no idea. Obviously, they have some influence from the parents that both artistic and in the art world somehow, but we try to educate them to look at things and to pay attention and to look at the details and to understand that things are more complicated and more complex than they appear to be. But after that, I mean, you can be an artist, but with the same mentality you can be a scientist. With the same mentality you can be an explorer. It's all the same thing. taking different directions.
Now, how do you draw your inspiration? Like, how does it come to you?
Just working all the time.
You're working all the time.
Well, I mean, by working, inspiration comes.
And then you have a studio in New Jersey as well?
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
I mean, Miró, the Spanish painter, used to say that art creation is 10% inspiration and 90% transpiration.
So like practice.
So work a lot and things will happen or not. You never know.
When was your very first break as an artist?
When I was 27 or 28. After I spent some time in New York, I did a show in Barcelona of the first works I did here, and that was very well received and kind of put me in the map.
And that's how you knew.
Exactly. That's when the things started. But you go in the map and out the map very often as an artist. You never stay. No, you go up and down. You appear, you disappear. You never.
You always have to be on top of the game.
Exactly.
So Luis, this is third sculpture behind me, and looks like a gate to me. But as an artist, also I usually visualize things in my own interpretation. What would be your interpretation of this piece?
Well, all the pieces have this nest thing on it. They're pieces that I think the places where you can hide or you can stay or you can live on it. At least when I make them, that's what I think. I like to create places where it's easy to live on it and to inhabit. So that's usually what I do when I do stones or paintings or drawings. There's always behind the idea to find a place where one can hide from everything.
Do you think it's possible?
Yeah.
One can hide?
Absolutely.
Is your mind always working as an artist?
Yeah, as a human being. No.
Yeah, but like
always, everybody's mind is working in one way or the other. So ours work in that creative process, but I think almost everybody's mind works in a creative process, otherwise we wouldn't survive. I mean, surviving is a creative process.
And creative learning, I know you went to a really amazing school. Can you tell me more like about your experience when you went to the school, when you were studying art and education?
Well, I actually didn't study art.
You didn't study art? How did that happen?
Because my father didn't let me study art.
Why would he do that?
My father was a teacher at the fine art school in Barcelona. And he told me, if I see you in the school, I don't talk to you ever again.
Really?
Because he thought that if by 18 you don't know how to paint, it's better if you don't paint. And it's true. If by his college time you don't know how to paint, it's too late. It's too late to be a painter.
It's too late to be a painter.
I think so.
So there's actually a time frame for paintings? Like
no, but I think if you have to have a total passion for what you do.
So
and especially for something like this where you are alone most of the time.
Yes.
So if you don't have the passion very early, probably it's because you don't have the passion.
If you would have a chance to ask God, like, to grant you a wish.
A wish, yeah.
What would it be?
To be invisible.
Invisible?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you think
because
this?
It would be fantastic that you see everything and nobody sees you.
And where would be your first stop or your first appearance as an invisible man?
As an invisible man?
Yeah, where would you go?
The desert.
The desert?
Yeah.
What would you do in the desert?
To look at nobody and nobody look at me.
Interesting. This is a really big project, like major one that you're doing right now. Now, what's your next one? Are you preparing for something?
I'm preparing a show of works on paper. Each paper is bigger than this stone. Very large drawing in 2 or 3 museums.
And what material is that?
It's paper from Nepal or from Bhutan, and basically it's graphite. Basically graphite and some watercolor.
Is it a fine paper or?
Very thin paper.
Very thin paper. So, like, how would you describe your pieces? Because I'm sure it's going to be like a fine.
They're a little bit the blueprints for the stones, but obviously they have nothing to do with the stones. But the proportion, the size, the scale, and the design is a little bit like the stone kind of thing, but obviously a totally delicate and ethereal material.
Now, as an artist, you do sculpture and fine painting. So, do you consider an artist doing all these kinds of movements in art together with sculpture and painting, or do you think it's not necessary?
It's not necessary. I mean, it depends on how your brain works.
And how did you ever decide that, oh, I want to do sculpture pieces?
Well, because in reality, to me, they're not sculptures. They're just paintings on a flat piece of stone.
And then how did you...
I wanted to put paintings outside, you know? And I realized that the only way to do it, or the way I wanted it to look, it was to use a fine piece of stone and use it as a canvas and paint it. But basically that's the idea. But to me, they're paintings, not sculptures.
Interesting.
Basically the painting.
And then now coming back to your childhood, I know you spent a lot of time with Miguel
Yes.
Leroy, and how do you consider that now, so many years later, you're doing a project together?
Well, it's very interesting because I knew Miguel many years ago, and his parents were some of my best and earliest collectors. And I think that's what happened in life, no? That the world is smaller than we think it is, and the people are closer than we think they are. And things happen, and I like to be close to Miguel. I consider him a good friend, a very good photographer, and it's a pleasure for me to do things with him.
Now, what was the most, like, you would say, funnest memory of him and you growing up together?
Well, basically, something I recall is when I moved to New York.
Yes.
And he was studying in Rhode Island. Having dinner one day downtown in Tribeca, having a lot of fun, and that's how we restarted our relation, because we knew each other from Spain, but this is when we started being closer friends.
Very connected. It's amazing what New York does.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So now we're moving to the final, the fifth sculpture of Louis. So Louis, this is your last piece here, and I want to know the story behind installation. There are 5 pieces. How long it took you to put it here, and what was the process?
Well, it took originally one night.
Yes.
But we had a little bit of a problem with one piece, and we had to use a second night.
Oh.
It's pretty stressing actually, because you have very little time. They only let you close the street for 6 hours. And there's lots of trucks, and there's a very big crane, and there's lots of people, and there's people stopping traffic, and this is New York City, so there's people all over the place all the time. So it's stressing, but you work with very professional people.
Yes.
And they made everything very smooth, but it's stressful. Yeah,
now, how does it feel for you to actually be here? Because, you know, when people see their work and people love it, it's kind of a relief. What do you think for you that means to you?
Well, it is a huge relief, because it's been a very complicated, and it's been done very short, this project, because when they approved it in November, one of the conditions was to have it ready, installed before the end of April.
Yeah.
So I didn't have almost any time to do it, and everything went very smooth, but I had to be very precise and very on top of it, because I couldn't do any mistakes. You know?
Of course.
And I didn't realize what I did until a couple of days after I installed it, and I came one Saturday morning and I saw it, and then I understood the scope of it. Before that, I was so immersed in the project that I couldn't really realize anything.
You didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Now, for you as an artist, just to know personally about you, like, what's your favorite holidays?
My
favorite holiday?
I like Thanksgiving a lot.
Why do you like Thanksgiving? It's so American.
No, because I think it's the name of it says it, no? It's giving thanks for the good things that happen.
Right.
And I think that's a very simple but very beautiful way of getting together without any religion in between, and without any... It's like no gift. No business. There's not much business in Thanksgiving besides selling turkeys. So I like that kind of quiet family, friends thing, and I understand the Thanksgiving concept, which is something that we should do more than once a year, actually.
So true, right?
Yeah.
Now, what would be your favorite cuisine?
My favorite
Apart
cuisine?
from Thanksgiving.
I love, in a way they're all connected, you know.
Yeah.
I obviously I love Spanish cuisine, but then I realized that some Spanish cuisine travel through Portugal to Japan, you know. So suddenly you are in Japan eating tempura, and it's very similar because it was invented by the Portuguese.
Right.
It's very similar to Spanish cooking, and then Marco Polo brought the Chinese noodles to Italy.
Can you believe that?
So it's all the same food in different places, and it's like religion. It's all the same religion with different images on it.
It's like French brought the Italian chefs from Italy,
Exactly.
Medicis. And now, what would be your 3 wishes?
My 3 wishes?
3 wishes.
Oh, live to explain it. You know?
Oh, live to explain it.
Yeah,
And-
those are the 3 of them.
Okay.
Live to explain it.
Live to explain it. That's great. And now, as an invisible man, if you would appear anywhere in the world, besides the desert, which museums would it be and you would spend the night there?
I would spend the night in front of the Meninas in El Prado.
And
In
why?
Madrid.
Why?
Because I think it's the only painting I cannot believe somebody painted it. I mean, it's a painting that if they tell me God took a break and painted it one afternoon, I believe it. It's the only paint I cannot understand how somebody can do it.
Incredible. And now with this conclusion, like, it's unbelievable that Louis Sloan is here, and with his 5 sculptures, I feel it's unbelievable.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us
Thank you so
here.
much.
And we're so happy to have you.
Me too. Thank you.
This is Popimpresska Journal, and we're here with amazing artist Lu Mei, and this is our morning coffee talk. How are you, Mei?
Very good. You?
Great, thank you. So we're here, and you're all the way from China, and I know you've been creating for how many years?
Oh, it's around 30 years.
30 years. And can you tell me a little bit more of your background, just because China is such a different civilization and culture. How did you make that transfer from China to America?
Oh, okay. So actually, I graduated from like 1991 from this my major for art. After that, I be 5 years teacher. After I continue my studies in Kappa. I come to US in the year 2000. So it's a family ground here. I was Chicago first to come to US. So I stayed there for 12 years. So I opened my own gallery.
Where?
Yeah, that's a dream.
Here?
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago,
Yeah,
okay.
So yeah, to grow with the family, Yeah, I enjoyed that time. So after I moved to New York in the year 2012. Yes.
So when you moved to New York, what was the first thing that attracted you the most in this city?
Wow, there's a lot to say for New York. So here you can see New Yorker have a lot of energy, right?
A lot.
Yeah, it's art, everything is in here in New York. You can find everything here. So when I come here, so I said this place I have to stay.
Amazing.
Yeah, after you cannot go anywhere. So yeah. So after I come to New York, so like every week, right? Have a lot of events, especially for the gallery opening. I go every week. Like Chelsea
Yes,
or
yes.
Midtown or up east side, right? So also have a museum like a MoMA, Men's, yeah, it's a lot here.
And what's your favorite museum from the whole city, you would say?
I like MoMA.
MoMA. Why do you like MoMA better than like Met?
But Met is nice, everything like a treasure. You can go there, you can find anything you want.
It's just very old,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
But the MoMA is much more contemporary because right now I'm focused on like
And you're a contemporary artist, because I see your
contemporary.
piece.
Yes, yeah.
So can you tell me more about this? Because it's like a pyramid, but at the same time looks like it's like a either Empire State Building or like combination of a tower.
Yeah, this is my I'm doing this series this for so far it's 2 years. Actually, this my so like the idea or inspiration coming like unconscious. So it is coming. So because I like the architecture.
Yes.
Also, I like something to the up. Yes.
And the interesting part is this is blue and this is white.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
The blue is my color. I love blue.
You like blue?
Every time so I'm out or something, I get something stressful or feel uncomfortable. Went back to my studio. I start to do something or this color, so I come down. It's kind of like I find myself.
And I still like the texture too if I touch it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Because it's acrylic. It's
acrylic.
already dry. Yes.
And most of the media that you use is acrylic.
Yeah, acrylic and ink. I have another different series for with the red paper and the ink, Chinese ink.
How beautiful.
So I like so like a Asian culture, like a pyramid.
Yes.
I just went to Mexico, went to see Maya pyramids. So I love it.
So Chichen Itza, I went there
Chichen
too,
Itza,
and then there's
yeah.
also Tulum.
Yeah, Tulum. Yeah.
Beautiful. Tulum, I think you can climb because I did climb the rope attached to it.
I did.
Yes,
I did
Tulum you climb. Yes. Chichen Itza, they won't let you up.
Yeah. Yes, nice. I love the culture. I feel I can connect with like so like before, maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. I can feel like a time travel back then. It's just like back home.
Like
so,
native
yeah,
kind of
so
connection.
it's kind of. Yes, sometimes I dream a lot. Like sometimes I dream fly, always going up. Like last night I dream I'm walking on the water.
It's
so,
amazing.
Yeah, something, it's kind of like very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
Yes.
So I think maybe I'm liking something, I want to go back, connect to before, so like human and heaven or something like that.
You draw from the universe, so they give you
Yeah,
like
the universe.
kind of dreams and they give you messages over that.
Yeah, like my friend said, that's kind of like a jungle slider. So yeah, you will, like a reverse.
Yes.
Yeah, totally reverse. You will return to universe.
The universe.
Yes.
That's so true. We're part of the
Yes.
universe.
Yes,
That's
yes,
so
yes.
true. Our final question always, like, what are your 3 wishes? So what are your 3 wishes for time to come? Like, what would you like still happen in your career? Because you're in New York, you're traveling, you're going to have a show in Japan, you're all over the place. What
I
else?
travel a lot.
What else is in store?
I love, freedom. I like always on the road. So it's my way. Always find my way to, use put my artwork.
Yes.
So maybe achieve somewhere. So I wish my work maybe show one day in MoMA.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Like 2 years ago, I have a show in the Grand Palace in Paris. So yes, great experience. So yes. Also I have the show. I have a solo show this year in China, in Shanghai. So I hope everything will be good. Yes. Otherwise, maybe I want to got somewhere. So yeah.
You never know.
I have so everybody like climb the mountain, right?
Yes.
You must have climb your own mountain. You got to go to the top.
Because it's open out there, so whatever you put it out, you can reach.
Yes.
So we are international crowd, and I am here standing with Mei Lu. She's a Chinese artist, and also Lu Mei, and from Spain. And we're here to inspire people to get to know international artists, and please get on their websites, find out about their art, and it's incredible. And Mei, what is your website so people out there can go and look for it?
Okay, www.lumeifineart.com.
And then Louis?
It's www.lluisllpo.com.
And then you both on social media and everything like that?
I'm not in social
You're not
media.
on social media. So if the people want to have a chat with you real quick, what would they do?
Smoke signals.
Yes?
Smoke signals, message in a bottle or something like that.
Really?
No, they can look at my website and they can find my email.
The email. Okay, so please email, get in touch with me, with Louis, and this is Popimpresska Journal, and we're concluding our amazing interview with incredible artists. Popimpresska.
I know that you went for some people here, and I looked at that picture, and in fact, you have that picture now in exhibition of Popimpresska Journal. So I want the audience to know how do you create it?
Well, it happened 2 years ago. We were shooting in south of Los Angeles because of Brava and also in the museum. And after shooting, we decided to finalize and make a dinner, and it was a surrealistic dinner. And I asked all the people on the staff and team to join us in a festive food and dress as a surrealistic dinner of Los Angeles. And of course, I decided to be Italy myself, so I dressed as Italy. And everybody said, "Oh, you're wonderful, you should do something with it." So the following week was the Venice Biennale, and I decided to travel there. And it's what that is the spirit of Salvador Dali. I went to Venice, and I showed up in Spanish for the year. And dressed as Dali, and the spirit of Dali.
So who is Lola?
So it feels in a way like you're continuing his legacy by telling me. And also, one little detail. How did you do it? His mustache in a way that it just stayed there.
I don't know, but he used some kind of gel to sleep. But he mentioned that one was painting in his house is looking at the and he liked it very much. Not even that, so the flash was coming and the sit on the mustache, and that gave him a kind of an ecstasy while he was painting.
And tell me that story about the flea, like you were telling me earlier about a flea.
Well, there is a famous video that you can see where Dali always pretended that he was flying. So he meant like to be that flea, but with verticality.
Miguel, your uncle loved to fly, and in fact was flying Salvador Dali to different places.
Yes, it's true. My uncle was a helicopter pilot, and Salvador Dali called him helicopter man because he flew with him sometimes in Caracas, as he asked him many times to fly around his
Yeah, but you could always pay off. Yeah, but you could pay off what you bought. Meaning, like, what I have.
perspective
Incredible. And as artists, we just fly. So you know what wings Dali had with his flying frogs and everything else, like swans and gala. Can you tell me a little bit about his painting, the one actually we discussed earlier today about astronomic gala? Because I really like that story.
La Gala Atómica is a painting of Dali, and it's based on the time he painted in the time where the new discoveries from atomic powers, nuclear powers after the Second World War. He knew about what the physical elements of the atoms and nuclear. Painted that painting on the schooling staging of Gala.
So where basically you have
The rest of the objects are flying. There are atomic relations between the cosmos replicated that in a photograph that I took years ago. Also trying to create the scene for the comic gala. So I used a model that's in the gala, but I didn't have the swan or the other objects. So I found one of the phobias of Dali are the lobster. So I used a lobster and I throw it in the air flying. That's what's happening in the picture. It's a lobster flying.
So Dali were actually